help break it all down than this man right here, Heisman winner, and also our good friend, Tim Tebow. Tim, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Great to see you guys.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, man.
We're
How
going
you
to
doing?
start by
I like
talking.
the blazer.
Oh, thanks, man. You know, hey, it's SEC Nation time. Just had to dress up a little bit for you guys. You know, I'm not in Florida. I'm in Atlanta now. So, hey, figured, there's not as much sun you guys give me such a hard time for. So, it is a little cloudy here. So, I figured I'd throw on a blazer,
Charlie,
Looking
I must admit,
Well, at least you don't have snow like we have in New York.
I'm very hurt that the SEC crew, they had me down there last year. I was a box office attraction, and the next thing I know, I don't get no invite this year. I don't even understand it. Nobody invited me there this year, but it's all right. It's okay.
Hey, we heard you were too busy. Too many things on your schedule,
Or, Stephen A., come on, your invite probably got lost in the mail. Let's be realistic. I mean, there was a snowstorm, right? So maybe you just didn't make it. We'll think positive here. Let's start with the SEC title game. Now, Tim, your alma mater taking on Stephen A.'s favorite Crimson Tide. And, while, Tim, we usually ask you the questions here, I'm going to start by asking Stephen A. something because, we saw that Florida is coming off a crushing loss against LSU. So, Stephen A., you think Florida's going to keep this one close?
What? Close? It's a wrap. That's a funny question. I mean, please. Since y'all haven't heard it from me in a while, Alabama. There's nothing to talk about here. I mean, please. Don't the Florida Gators got 2 losses on their resume this year? Didn't they lose to Texas A&M? Didn't they lose to LSU last week in this quote-unquote thriller? But when LSU went up against Alabama, they dropped 55 on LSU. When they went up against Texas A&M, wasn't that score like 52-24? But Florida lost to both of them. And they're going to give Mac Jones and Najee Harris and Devontae Smith and the crew problems? Please, all day, every day, especially when it comes to the SEC this weekend. Alabama. It won't even be close. My condolences to the Florida Gators. I like Trask. They've got some good players, but there's no Tim Tebow in that locker room talking about let's go, let's go, let's go. It'll never happen again. You ain't gonna play like garbage, apologizing to the fans. There's nobody like that in that Florida locker room. The Crimson Tide roll Tide. It's a romp. You can book it. I'm predicting the score right now. It's going to be like, and I know the coach is going to use this as motivation for his team. It won't work, by the way. It won't work. Alabama, 52. Florida, 26. I'm predicting a romp, period.
I totally agree with Stephen A. here, unfortunately. So, Tim, let me just ask you, how does Florida even theoretically win this game? Like, what are you going to do to slow down the Alabama offense even? And Florida doesn't have great line play in terms of trying to, control the time of possession or anything like that. I can't even conceptualize, how does Florida plan on, what scenario unfolds where Florida wins this game?
Guys, so much when I listen to you talk about boxing and UFC, and you guys do a great job with it, you always mention styles make fights, right? That's something that you always bring up. Well, I think that's the same thing in this game. The style makes the fight. And I think Florida actually brings quite a style to this game that doesn't suit Alabama really well. Listen, they didn't play really good last week. They didn't play good at all. Actually, it was incredibly disappointing for Florida. They should have mopped LSU with playing 34 freshmen, right? But this is a different week. I think the game plan's totally different. And I also want to go back to how Ole Miss played Alabama earlier in the year when Stephen A. was so bold. He said, there's no way that they're going to put up a lot of points. Oh, yeah, they put up 48. There's no chance they're going to do that. Watch how Florida's scheme gives them a chance in this game. Listen, FBI has Florida at 11%. I think it's probably more about 40%. Do I still think Alabama's a better team? Yes, I do. But I think the style of this game, Florida's offense, their game plan, the way they're going to spread it around, and the way that they're going to create mismatch against the match combo coverage of Alabama, I think it gives Florida a shot early in this game to hang around. I do think they're going to need a couple breaks, a couple tip passes. They're going to need to convert in the red zone, score, stay in this thing, and maybe win it in the fourth quarter. But I do see a road to winning this game. There's a chance. I do not think it's 90% Alabama like the FPI has it. I do think Florida has a chance in this game. And you need to go back and watch throughout the year. If this offense for Florida gets rolling, they're a very dangerous offense.
It won't get rolling. That's my point. Now, I will give you credit. And I knew you were going to bring that up because you got me there. Tim Tebow was texting me during the game, man, talking about Ole Miss. Watch it. And they dropped 48 on Alabama. It was a good game. And he was texting me during the game. I was like, damn, he got me here. But not twice in the same season. It ain't happening for you this weekend. And then you look at now think about Tim Tebow. Good-looking dude, got that perpetual smile on his face, always encouraging folks. I'm sorry to call Tim Tebow out like this. Florida, does that seem like a confident Tim Tebow right there? Did he look confident? Did he look euphoric? Did he look
I didn't say I think they're going to win, but they have a much better chance than you think they do.
Tim Tebow knows what the rest of us know. Tim Tebow knows what the rest of us know. Alabama is taking these brothers to the woodshed. It's going to be a romp. Are you going to be in attendance for that game, Tim Tebow? Because I don't want you to see what's going to happen to Florida this weekend. I really don't want you to see it, Tim, because I love you.
When you see the style of this game, you will be shocked. The game plan that Florida has, they will compete in this game. Florida will compete in this game. Tim. They're not getting taken to the woodshed.
Hey, you know you my boy. You know I love you. I don't want this for you. I don't want what's coming. You don't deserve this, Tim Tebow. You don't deserve to be in attendance for this beatdown y'all about to get. That's all I'm trying to say to you. It's okay. That's all right. Okay, I don't say.
Tim, you know I never agree with Stephen A.
I tried to be there. I really did.
You know, I try not to agree with Stephen A. I don't agree with him normally, but he is trying to be your friend right now. He really is. He's being a good friend to you right now.
Listen, I understand he's my friend.
Stephen A is predicting 52-26.
What do I think about 50?
What would you say the score is going to be?
Is the lovely wife going to be there with you this year, Tim? Is she going to be there? You're going to need her. You're going to need her.
I know I'm going to need I might need the support because I do think it's going to be a close loss. So I might need that because it'll be closer. Let me think. Maybe 38-28? Alabama?
All right, not exactly the romp that Stephen A is predicting. We'll see.
Florida's going to
Max, I want to ask you something.
Hold it, Charlie. Florida is going to hold Alabama to 38? Alabama's going to score that 38 points?
I think Florida's game plan is going to be able to move the ball, hold the ball, control it. It's the style of the game. It's not necessarily just how many stops. I think, Florida's going to be able to do a few things in this game that Alabama hasn't seen the entire year. Alabama's never seen a Kyle Pitts and the size of Florida. I think Florida's skill matches up with anyone in the country offensively, and I think that's something that that you guys haven't taken into account. Kyle Pitts didn't play last week. He's a difference maker. Watch him the next level. That's why he's going to get drafted in the top 10 picks, is because he is a freak and he is a difference maker. And I think he's going to be a difference maker tomorrow as well. And it'll be interesting. I think they're probably going to match up their top corner and Patrick Surtain one-on-one with him. That gives Florida's other receivers the number 2, number 3, and 4 corners.
Gentlemen, I want to talk about the implications that these title games are going to have in the college football playoff. Selection Sunday is this weekend. Max, who do you foresee being in the top 4?
I think it's what everyone knows it's going to be. It's the top 4 right now: Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I mean, you need to get. I like Clemson over Notre Dame, and so I don't see anything changing.
But Max, I think one of the biggest arguments that that's going to come into play is if the favorites win. If Clemson beats Notre Dame, then the biggest argument is going to be who's going to be at number 4. I think Ohio State bumps to 3, and then it's going to be, does Notre Dame grab 4? Do they stay in the top 4, and do they hold that 4th position? Or does A&M, if they rout Tennessee tomorrow night, does A&M jump them for number 4? And then you look at, well, Notre Dame beat Clemson at home against a backup freshman quarterback, or Clemson beat Florida. Those were the 2 best wins, and I think that would probably be the argument in the case for which one's going to get number 4, which I think it also matters how they look. Does Notre Dame stay and hang with Clemson? Does A&M rout Tennessee? I think all that comes into play.
This is easy for me, guys. It's going to be Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State. Okay, because Clemson is beating Notre Dame. Yes, I'm calling it. The question is it going to be close or is it going to be a romp? With Trevor Lawrence and Clemson highly motivated to avenge the loss that they suffered at the hands of Notre Dame, without Trevor Lawrence in the lineup, how well they perform. If they blow out Notre Dame gets bounced out of the top 4. Texas A&M elevates to number 4. If it's a close, hard-fought contest, because they beat Clemson first go-round, it stays those top 4 teams. It's just that Clemson wins, so they get the higher seed than Notre Dame, and that's it. But it's going to be Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Notre Dame's fate is going to depend on how competitive they are when they play.
I totally agree with that, Stephen A. I think it's a really good point. I think it's how it looks in that game is going to really matter in that game. And I think something that a lot of other experts have said is, oh, well, the committee might not want to see A&M get 4 and play number 1. Listen, I don't care what you want to see, all right? This isn't about your favorites of who you want to see. This is about the 4 best teams. So if it is A&M, who cares if it's a rematch against Alabama, right? I hope there's not bias that comes into play of what we want to see. Listen, if what you want to see, then go get tickets to what you want to see and pay for it. Get the 4 best teams.
Texas A&M.
All right, Tim, we got to let you go here.
We got job, but they ain't going to be in.
Yeah. I just want to reiterate, Tim, I'm here for you. Tim. My phone will be ready. You text me, bro. I'm a text you words of support and encouragement. You in a world of trouble.
Words of support.
Well, we'll see. I might be texting you.
I'm feeling these texts aren't going to be words of support. All right, Tim, we got to let you go, but we thank you so much. We'll find out whether you're or Stephen A.